Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 things you should be looking in a bike before you get to buy. So yeah, let's get to that. Alright, we're back. Now let's talk about the hardtail and full suspension mountain bikes. Now when it comes to mountain bikes, you'd probably only think about the hardtails and the full suspension mountain bikes. Both of them can have their benefits and drawbacks. They are bikes that only have front suspension and have better specs for their value. That being said, if you're looking to learn about all the features of a mountain bike, then you have come to the right place. I'll cover all 12 major features of mountain bikes, what to look out for, what's best for you, and everything else you need to know. Mountain bikes are intricate and diverse bike types. I have to say, I've ridden many for the past 5 years and I've learned one thing. When choosing one, you can't just pick any. Remember, you need to have the answers to these 3 questions. Why do I need the bike? How is the bike going to affect my life and change it and make it even easier? And how am I going to be using the bike? Yeah. At first glance, it's easy to assume that the pricier, more complex full suspension mountain bikes are the better of the two models. But in actual fact, both types have their place in modern mountain biking. It all depends on what kind of rider you are, what terrain you're likely to tackle, and of course, how much you have to spend. Okay, let's go to the first thing which many people don't see, which is weight. One of the obvious differences between a hardtail and a full suspension is the weight. Without the added weight of pivots, a rear shock, and suspension linkages, a hardtail is a slight kilogram lighter than a full suspension mountain bike. In terms of climbing efficiency, this can mean a lot. However, when it comes to full suspension mountain bike, a heavier weight doesn't need to be a deal breaker. Number 2. Terrain. Another thing to consider when choosing your mountain bike is where exactly are you going to be riding it. Although both hardtail and full suspension can tackle a variety of wide difficulty terrain, the ride will feel different depending on the type of bike you choose. Because of its rear shock, a full suspension mountain bike feels smoother when tackling a difficult terrain. If you are looking for a bike that will take you far off the beaten track as you can go, a full suspension mountain bike might be your best bet. They can also be a good choice for beginners. With the rear suspension expected to absorb a lot of off-road duration, lessening rider fatigue means that you can keep up with more experienced riders. Without that added suspension in the rear, hardtails can give you a bumpier ride on rough terrain. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing. You can hit the same trails as you can with a full suspension bike, but you'll need to be more considerate on line choice. Avoid those rockier and rootier trails where possible. Number 3. Climbing versus descending. Both hardtails and full suspensions have their strengths when it comes to hills. It just depends whether you're going up or down them. With their rigid rear end, light frame, and stable riding position, hardtails are great for those longer climbs. But when it's time to fly back down those slopes, that's where full suspension mountain bikes have the edge. The riding position and the added rear suspension make these bikes best for racing downhill, giving you more control, especially on steeper declines. Depending on how rough and technical the terrain is, full suspension mountain bikes can be the better choice for going uphill, with the rear suspension working to keep your back tire on the ground so that you can battle up the climb. And again, it all depends on the terrain. Number 4. Comfort and traction. The main advantage of full suspension mountain bikes is comfort and traction. While hardtails can give you the freedom to do your traditional mountain biking skills, dual suspension gives you the comfort and grip you need. This added comfort is down in the rear, which helps keep the tire on the ground. With the rear wheel firmly on the ground, full suspension bikes also give you better traction than a hardtail bike. Okay, I'm not trying to say that a hardtail cannot give you good grip. I'm saying this because I've already experienced this with my hardtail. On a smooth track, you'll barely even notice the difference between the two bikes. But when the trail gets tough, that's when the full suspension mountain bike becomes number 1. Last but not least is maintenance. One advantage of hardtails is how easy they are to maintain. It's like this one. Just like any other bike, the most important thing is cleaning and lubricating. The added complexity of full suspension mountain bike means those extra components, such as the rear shock, need servicing on top of your own normal bike. Alright, it's time to make the decision. Please comment down below on your favorite bike between the two types of bikes, and I'll see you in the next episode. See you guys.